Hi, YouTube. Welcome to Soarin Scratchin, Screechin and Scratchin, Swooping in the Coop.
The Poop, Scoop, and Boogie?
Something like that.
Anyway.
I am EagleFan.
This is true, and I'm Evil Chicken.
Welcome. We wanted to go over our 2019 year in review.
Ooh.
We have been on a little bit of a concert exploration over the past probably 18 months or so.
And it's been glorious.
And it started back in 2018 when I took this gentleman to go see Nightwish.
Yes.
That was after I had discovered symphonic metal not too long before that, and then found them. And they, I thought, were a wonderful group to see.
Oh, yeah.
We loved that concert.
Great show. Great show. Just amazing musicianship.
Yes.
And it bit me, and it hasn't let go yet. So
Tuomas is the premier composer of our time, I would say.
Wow.
He
What do
is
you know?
he is the one that does the keyboards and actually writes all of the music.
Very
He's very
amazing.
amazing.
There's a lot
Yes.
going on there.
So that leads us to this year. At the end of 2018,
Yes.
this gentleman turned 50.
True.
In 2019, I turned 50.
Also
So I
true.
decided to start blogging my next 50. And with that, doing some YouTube videos. Haven't really done many YouTube videos yet, but we are starting to do that. And this gentleman hopefully will be along for the ride as well, and we'll be able to
I'm thankful to be here.
to greet you many more times from now. So what we want to first do is go over what we did last year, 2019.
What a year.
Yes, it happened probably at the end of 2018. I saw this group Within Temptation, which was the first group that actually got me into symphonic metal. I saw that they were going to be in Philly playing at the Fillmore. So I called this gentleman up and asked him if he wanted to go. And after begging and pleading, he said yes. It wasn't really much begging or
No,
pleading.
I think it was a Facebook message, and I was like, yes. But
So with that group, I noticed there were two other groups going to be playing with them who I'd never heard before, which ended up being the theme of this year. Many of the groups that we've seen this year, we had never heard before. I'm sorry, I say this year. It's now 2020. Any of the groups we saw in 2019, we'd never even heard before 2019.
And you know what? I think it's important what you just said. The idea that now with good Lord, I'm old.
Yes, that's important to know.
The
that he is
important
old.
thing is that to get out there and experience this live, because that's
Yes.
where you really, that's where the art happens. It's not so much consumption then; it's art. The artist is playing, you're there, and somewhere in between, that's where the magic really happens.
Yes. Yes, it does. So for this Fillmore show,
Yes.
on the way there, we evaded a pothole which should have been criminal negligence by the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly, you should have been ashamed on that one. But I think it was filled in after.
Yes, we've since been back and that pothole's not there. But
It was a sinkhole, or perhaps a crater,
yes, I don't know how my car made it through
a
it. But,
gaping chasm. But yeah,
but we made it through it and we got to the show.
true.
So opening for Within Temptation were two groups that we had never heard of before. It was Smash Into Pieces and In Flames, both from Sweden. This is where part of the Swedish love affair began. And I had listened to some of them before the show to get a little bit of an idea how they sounded.
Sure.
Now, the first group, they're just kind of metal-ish. I kind of compare them to Nickelback-ish type of sounds. The second group was a group called In Flames, which is listed as melodic death metal. I'd heard some of that. I had warned this gentleman ahead of time. It might be a little bit heavy because we hadn't gone to anything quite like that before.
Well, in quite some time. I mean,
Yeah.
we did Queensryche and Leopard in the 80s.
Yeah,
Was that the 80s?
But that was the 80s. Yes. Yeah, but that's still not to the level
No.
of death metal.
No.
So with that, we got there And as we were standing outside, this gentleman came up to us and told us of these wonderful seats upstairs. The Fillmore is basically standing room only downstairs.
Yes.
There's a little upstairs balcony, and we said, you know what? We're old. Let's try this. And I definitely recommend this to anyone if you're
Of a certain age.
and you don't want to be down there in the pit.
This was from the Within Temptation show. It says Within Temptation, but for me, it should say In Flames, because what a show. It picked you up and slapped you around, and you loved every moment of it. It was like it was like primal therapy. It was gorgeous, glorious, as Gowron would say.
I must confess, I love Within Temptation. I love everything that I've seen of theirs, everything from the past. Their new album is good, but I like their older stuff a little bit better.
Well, they were
and
good.
That's who I was there to see originally. But In Flames stole the show.
Yeah.
The opening act was novel. They were okay. Mm-hmm. But the In Flames, they came on. I had no idea what to expect with this gentleman. I warned going in that it was going to be a little heavy. This is a guy who was Phil Collins and Billy Joel back in the 80s. Yeah. So I thought, okay, I don't know what he's going to think after this, if he's ever going to go to a concert with me again. In Flames comes out. The first few chords are struck, and I hear this guttural growl coming from next to me. It's this gentleman. Yeah.
That was awesome.
I look, and he's got this smile on his face from ear to ear, and that just sold it. He was into it the rest of the show.
And probably for the next 50 years, just saying. So
it was a great show. They did a wonderful job. Much respect to Anders and Company, that's the lead singer. And they were great. Mm. They took so much out of you, though. I was so... Just with all the adrenaline and everything that took through that.
Glorious.
Within Temptation came on, and they did okay.
They did. Very good show.
But I realized part of the way through that I'm still sitting down at this point in time. I was still recovering from In Flames.
There was no sitting down for In Flames. It was electrifying, and there were some good moments of philosophy there too. I liked. Please forgive me. His name's Anders. Anders. Please forgive me. But on stage, Anders said, "Life is too short to drink bad beer," and I've taken that to heart. I think it's important.
Yeah. Or a fruity drink.
Excuse me.
Or a fruity drink.
Or a fruity drink. Indeed. Or coffee.
So for that show, I would say that it was I thought it was a great day. It was a good show, other than the pothole. I thought In Flames totally stole the show. I would go see them again in a heartbeat.
Definitely. Within
Temptation, I would like to see at one of their larger European type shows.
We got to get to one of those. Of those. Just saying.
But it was a good day. It was a wonderful day. So that's how the year started. A couple months later, we ended up going to something known as the MM-Barbecue.
Yeah.
That was over in Camden. That was a wonderful show. That was 8 groups. The first 4 groups are general admission. Mm-hmm. You get your ticket to get in, but you can sit anywhere. So we were up front for those first 4 groups.
Right.
Last 4 groups, you leave, you come back in, you go to your seats for those. These were 8 groups. The first group was a local group. Saravo, they were good. They were good for a local group. They were really a good local group. Yeah.
The guitar playing, the bass player was interesting. He was all over the place, literally.
Yeah. The bass player had a lot of energy.
True.
The next group, I thought, stole the show for those first half of the show. That was Bad Wolves. They had so much energy. They are a group I would see again.
Oh yeah,
in a heartbeat.
Just this aggressive, assertive music and it's just such energy. It's great because you get that out and like your ears are ringing and the moshing's going on in front of you. We weren't part of that because we were not in the pit.
We were right next to the pit though.
Yes. I was impressed at how close to the stage we got for each of the 4 the 4 openers. It was great. It was great.
The next group after them probably had a little bad luck of the draw having to play after them.
Yes.
Glorious Sons, they're a little bit more like a southern rock type of sound to them.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more mellow, and just after that much energy, I thought they were okay. I wasn't overly impressed, but I thought they were okay.
They had the misfortune of having to follow Bad Wolves. There seemed to be a little bit of animosity on the stage between the lead singer and the guitar player, and I think they're brothers, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But, just a little bit of here or there. It was a short set, too.
Yeah, it was a short set.
But
it was what it was. It was still basically they were all openers at that point in time. So the last group was another surprise for the year.
Yeah.
I had no idea, and I believe you had no idea as well, that the wrestler Chris Jericho is the lead singer of Fozzy.
Mm-hmm.
So we found that out, and they came out and they played a set which I thought was a good set. I thought they did good. I thought it was entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
It was great. It was fun. It was a fun show. I love the idea that Mr. Jericho has reinvented himself. I think that's great. Sometimes you only get one shot to invent yourself the first time. Not Mr. Jericho. He's like, I've been a wrestler. I think I'd like to be a heavy metal musician. What the heck? Let's do it. Yeah. I love that.
I thought that was fitting. He was used to entertaining a crowd, and
so it's perfect for this guy. And yeah.
Now for the last four,
yes,
the first act of the last four surprised me. This was Joan Jett. I've said this multiple times going in. I thought it was going to be, okay, it's an 80s musician coming back for a little money grab concert tour. But she was impressive.
I've said this before as well. There is a reason why Joan Jett is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do yourself a favor. Go see Joan Jett. She's coming around this year with who? Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Poison, right?
Yes, that's a whole 80s, 80s reunion tour right there.
But
which I think we want to try to get to.
Yeah, if we can.
Yes.
Tickets are like $200. I looked into it.
Oh, God.
So maybe we won't, but we'll see.
Okay. We'll see where that goes.
But go see Joan Jett when you can. You're not going to be disappointed. I was shocked because you think, oh, it's going to be nothing but I Love Rock and Roll. No. And then that she hits all these other songs, you're like, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. There are a lot of songs of hers that I knew that I didn't remember that I knew.
Awesome stuff.
Now, we are running a little bit lower on time here.
Okay, so maybe we should hurry this one up there.
Yeah, so let's, we'll get into the next group was the Struts. I'm not going to touch on them quite as much for this because they will make a reappearance in our discussion here.
I love you, Luke.
They did great. I liked our second show better than the first. The first was good. That gave me the taste.
Oh,
the
God,
second show, I think, is what really pulled it off.
Oh, I love the Struts.
The following group after them was Evanescence. I've said it in a blog review that I've had. For me, it was like a 5 out of 10. For anyone that would like Evanescence, it would probably be an 8, 8.5, maybe higher. I don't understand that group because if you put all of the little individual pieces that they have out there, it would be something that would be right up my aisle. But something just didn't click for me for that.
Amy Lee has a beautiful voice. There's no taking that away from her. But I don't know. Maybe because we're not goth kids.
I don't know.
We're old men who like Swedish death metal.
It's weird. Something just didn't click there.
But that was not to say that there's anything wrong with Evanescence. Go see her. Go see them. A good show. It's just I know what you mean about having all the parts. Like
everything was
good. It had the light show. It had the drums. It had the guitars.
Yeah. And they were all good at what they did.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason the combination just didn't grab me.
Yeah.
And the last group that we're going to do here for this this portion of the videos is the last group for that, which was Shinedown.
Shinedown.
Which I've seen them before, so I knew going in that they were going to put on a good show, and they did. I
didn't know that going in. I thought that they were I had an appreciation for the band, but I had this feeling in the back of my head. Oh, these are just like a processed sort of band. I couldn't have been more wrong. Brent Smith, God bless you. Awesome show. The rest of the boys in the band, just an amazing. You converted me.
Now, actually, we're probably about to run out of time on what the file can hold here. So we'll wrap this portion up, and we'll pick up the second half. He can pick up right from where he left off here with discussing Shinedown, and we'll go into there.
Great show, though. Oh, my.
Yes.
We have high production values here. Spock.